Alrighty, traders, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, traders, depending, of course, where you are in the world. Once again, we're back with round two. Last night, we went ahead and traded the New Zealand rate decision. We had really no currency pairs that were setting up to trade last night based on the big move that we had with the rate decision. They kept the rates unchanged at 0.25%. We're expecting a little strength in the New Zealand dollar. That didn't happen. New Zealand dollar just fell through the floor, and we couldn't really get in on that. We thought we'd go ahead and revisit this again tonight, which we will do. But tonight's really about the Aussie jobs that's coming out. Jobs are coming out, probably going to be weak numbers. In fact, it's going to be weak numbers. And but we're going to see how the market's going to react accordingly. All right. We could see that the employment rate is actually going to be shooting up to 8.3%. That is what they're projecting, 8.3%. We're going to chat about that today. We're also going to be looking at trade setups. I guarantee you we will get a trade tonight. In fact, I'm going to be looking at the pound Aussie dollar and actually try and trade the pound Aussie dollar on the news. Woo! That's going to be exciting. All right, so what we're going to do is we've got about 15 minutes before we get into everything. But I did bring a guest on this evening. I thought, again, it's very lonely here, and I want to go ahead and bring a guest on so I can go ahead and kill some time. And I brought in a good friend of mine, Chris. In fact, he's a very good golfer. But I have to say, I have kicked his butt already on the golf course. I'm just putting it out there. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guest this evening. And it is going to be my good friend, Chris. And let me see if I can get him on here. Oh, there we go. It's working. All right, everything's good to go. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Gary. Just making an official note that those were rental clubs that I had, not my own.
Hey, listen, yeah. The truth of the matter, Chris is a very good golfer. In fact, he's a professional a PGA member. He is really good. He's got a great swing and he plays great golf. I always have to take advantage of him when he comes down to Florida because he has to have rentals. He plays with golf balls I tell him to play with, so he doesn't get advantage on me. But yeah, it's good fun. Chris, we're going to be talking about the markets this evening, right? We're going to talk about the Aussie jobs. And look, we can talk about fundamentals all day long. But at the end of the day, we're going to go ahead and talk about a short, brief description of what's happening with the fundamentals, but then dig into the actual trading because we've got about 10 minutes, I think, now left before the news actually is reported. I'm expecting, of course, based on the news, we're expecting jobs to be, of course, we're going to get bad job numbers. We're going to get unemployment that's going to be skyrocketing. That is a given. The problem here is, which has always been the case, is that sometimes the fundamental data that is reported doesn't really reflect what the market does. The reaction of the market is sometimes different. Now, you would think if the numbers are going to be bad for the Aussie, that we're going to get a downside move in Aussie itself. But it could be different. It could be seen, the market could be seen this priced in already and possibly seen as a Aussie dollar as a safe haven currency pair, which means that it could continue to rally, or we could get a spike down just initially, a bearish move on Aussie, and then over the next few hours into the day, we could see the rally starting to take place again on, like, for instance, pound Aussie dollar. What is your thought on what's going to happen at 9:30? Just briefly, so we can go to some trade setups.
Yeah, of course. So, I talked about this in my trading room this morning. I mean, realistically, I think that the Aussie is primed to establish some highs. So Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss, Aussie Yen, I'm looking for it to establish some highs. Full disclosure, I did take profit today on the Aussie Yen. I sold it at 70, and I took about 101 pips of profit on that one. I posted that in my trading room, did an update, and I just want to be safe, and I want to make sure that profit is mine prior to this news. Aussie Swiss, Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar. I'm looking for highs to form, and it could be one of those news events, Gary, where initially obviously we're forecasting, we're seeing the calendar say it's going to be a $500,000 or 500,000 job lost. Unemployment goes from 5% to 8%. Numbers are not good. Numbers weren't good for the U.S. last week. Numbers weren't great for the CAD last week, but yet the market just kind of did what it needed to do. So from the technical side, I mean, look, if traders are expecting, it's going to be a bad number for the Aussie, then there might be some heavy positions that are already started to short the Aussie. So this news event might be the quick jump to like scatter everybody, to maybe flush everybody out, and then we establish those highs and lows. So it would be, you know, lows on the Euro Aussie, lows on the Pound Aussie, highs on the Aussie CAD, Swiss, Yen, and dollar. So realistically, I am looking for an Aussie weakness move. You know, and the good thing about an event like this is at 9:30. So, I mean, as we're looking at this hour closing, I'll be making an assessment by the end of the time. Like by 10 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be making an assessment on what I want to do going into, you know, 10 p.m. into the Asia session, London session, and trying to find a trade where I'm looking at Aussie weakness. So that's my plan. I'm with you. I like the bias to the downside.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing right here. And I said to the traders last night when we got together last night, I said, hey, we're not going to trade the news as it happens, right? But we're going to go ahead and see how everything unfolds and then look for the opportunity as it moves into the European session by addressing what the move was and then setting up our EAs to deploy and trade in that direction. And really, the market moved. In fact, the New Zealand dollar moved so far yesterday that it basically covered the weekly trading range, and so there was really nothing left for us to go ahead and look at on the New Zealand crosses. Now, today might be a little different, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump into our chart right here, and that's not the chart, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Here's the chart right here. Okay, so if you take a look at the Pound Aussie right here, I like the Pound Aussie. Look at this divergence here on the Pound Aussie. This has to start blowing north. There's got to be a moment where decision takes place and we start heading north. Look at that right here. We got lower lows. We've seen the oscillator starting to move up. We're getting indecision here right at a pivot point. But also take a look right here. We're getting an indecision at a 1.618 extension of this downward move, which means that the fib extension has been met too. There's a lot of support here to support this, the divergence pattern, to indicate that price is going to move up. This is the Pound Aussie dollar. Now, what I'm going to do, Chris, is I'm actually going to actually implement a trade right now so that I don't miss out on this. I'm going to actually trade this pound going long. I'm going to go ahead and implement. Let's go ahead and add on this EA right here. I've got it add on. I'm just going to go ahead and change something right here. I'm going to change the time that I want this thing to take place. I wanted to start trading. I'm going to look at the broker time right here. It looks like it's Thursday at, it's going to be at 4:30. So 4:30 on Thursday, I'm going to change it here to Thursday 4:30. So I'm going to go there and make that 4:30. So basically on the hour or on half an hour, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to change this as well Thursday. All right, so there it is there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start implementing the trade. And I'm looking for buy-only options. I've got it set to a buy-only option. I'm not really worried about what level I want to trade above, so I'm going to go ahead and set that to 0. All I'm going to do is I'm going to trade it off a 1-minute time frame. So when we get a signal on this time frame, I'm going to go ahead and trade it long. So which means that we're in the sell zone right now on the Pound Aussie. If we do get weakness out in Aussie and it starts spiking up, I'm going to be ready to rock and roll and get in on that trade. I'm going to put my stop loss possibly below the lows right here and let it run. I'm going to allow the EA to do this for me. This is the only pair I'm going to really put a lot of emphasis on as of right now. But when the data comes out, we'll go ahead and look at other currency pairs and see how the other currency pairs are going to be set up. So we'll definitely check this out and see how this unfolds over the next few, well, in the next few minutes, in fact. So that's what I'm going to prepare right now. I'm going to go ahead and do it on one of my other accounts right here. And I'm going to set up the same thing. I've got a few positions in here, but I am going to sit in. No, I'm not going to do it because I noticed that I actually have the trades in already. Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, darn it. I got trades already in on this pair right here. Let me see here. Yep, I'm already bullish on the Pound Aussie on these. So I can't do anything on that. But I will be looking at the Pound CAD a little bit later. All right, we'll check out the Pound Canadian. Pound Canadian, I know it's got nothing to do with the Aussie right here, but the Pound Canadian, I'm interested in the Pound Canadian because check this out. We're at support level right here, a lot of indecision, and we've got this, well, not quite, we haven't got divergence here, but I'm definitely looking at the support right here for price to move back up again. We'll talk about that a little later. Is there any pair in the Aussie cross? We've got about 4 minutes left. Any pair in the Aussie crosses that looks interesting to you? Because I also see Aussie CAD. What do you think about Aussie CAD? Look at the divergence on Aussie CAD right here.
Yeah, I'm short Aussie CAD. We've talked about this one. I love that rising wedge coming to the right-hand side of it. I love 9100 and just the probability of we've got lots of targets down below. We've got nice divergence on the Aussie CAD. And, you know, as I said, the basket is primed for some weakness. I'm short at 91. And, you know, just so we might see that spike up, there's a yearly pivot at 9180. And if we hit up there and you know, maybe spike up on the news tonight, hit 9180 and then start to drop, I think this is a great opportunity to look for those highs to form. So I'm short, and I've got one position in at 9100. I've got a second position pending at 9180. My target is to at least get price back down to 9,000. Ideally, I hold it longer to like 8,800. So I know you've got some levels like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me go to the 1 minute time frame right here, and let me first check out the 4 hour. The 4 hours hit tops right here. It's definitely holding up at the top right here. Let's go take a look at the 1 minute. And the 1 minute is trading slightly bullish. I always like it when it trades slightly bullish right here, so I can go ahead and take advantage of this. I'm going to do this on my, let's see, on this account. I believe I've got some Aussie, good, no Aussie CAD trades right here. So I'm going to look to add on here. And I believe we've got 2 minutes left, so I'm running out of a little time right here. But I want to go ahead and pull in Aussie CAD on this. I'm going to bring in my right trader on this chart right here. And I'm going to set it up for sells only. So let's go ahead and do selling only on this one right here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and set no time on this. And just go ahead and set OK. So sell only on this one right here. I'm going to do the same thing on my other account. I'm going to do the Aussie Canadian. I think I don't have it over here. I might need to add it on. Yeah, I don't have it. So let me add that on right here below. Aussie CAD. And let's go ahead and add this one on here. And I'm going to do the same right here. So I don't want to focus on too many of these trading opportunities this evening. And we're looking at this one also to be a sell as well, sell only. I'm going to make sure that there's no change to the time. It's set to false. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and OK that. All right. I'm set, ready to go. We've got 1 minute to go before the news comes out. And if we get into a bearish environment, we'll start selling. And that's it on both the, looks like Pound Aussie and Aussie CAD. So we're looking for a rally. Oh, hold on. Buy only, yes, buy only there. And then this one will be sell. All right, so let's just see what the data looks like. The data is just about to be reported. Let's see what happens to the pound. We're expecting Pound Aussie to start rallying. Let's pull up. I'm actually going to pull up the. Looks like it's spiking up a little bit right here. And this is on the 15-minute time frame. Let's go back to the 1 hour. 1 minute. There's 1 minute there. So this is on the 1 minute. That's on the 1 minute right here. So Pound Aussie had a spike.
Negative 594, Gary. So the forecast was negative 575, came in negative 594. So that's 20,000 worse. And it looks like previous unemployment 5.9. Well, actually no. I'm looking for the unemployment rate.
6.2. It's higher than that they expect. They expected 8.3%. It went to 6.2%. So it's still worse than the previous. But the forecast is a little higher than what it actually came out in actual. So
right.
That is not as bad as what they thought. The unemployment is not as bad as they thought.
Okay. But jobs are worse. 594. Yeah. So missing jobs and a slightly better than. And again, you're going from 5.2 to 6.2. So it's a 1% difference from last month. But 8.3 was forecasted. So this could be one of those kind of wash news events where it's bad jobs, but better than expected unemployment percentage. But again, look at what's happening Aussie CAD wise, Gary. You see the price action. We're starting to move lower. That's a good sign. You know, I mean, I think those tops are ready to happen. Yep.
Look at that. It spiked down here. That's why we want to go ahead and buy only. Get out of the buy only. We're not picked up yet. No trade has been picked up as of right now. But we are looking at it trading up a little higher. Now, this is a 1 minute time frame, which means it may tick up a little. It may need some more ticks up to the upside. I like this. I like the fact that we're not getting this huge move like we did with the New Zealand last night. This type of price action to me is a lot more tradable and comfortable to trade, because we're not getting this 180 pip move initially and then trying to get in on that run. And also, we're not seeing a lot of whippy lash type of movement either. That little spike to the downside that we saw in the pound Aussie is perfectly in line. That's what we don't mind seeing. And then look at the Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD hasn't moved yet, but it should. And if it means that we hold these trades over the overnight into the morning session, European session, I'm okay with that. But I like these two trade setups right here. I actually wish I could get in on the pound Aussie, which it's not too late. I may have to manage that a little differently though. Yeah, I may have to manage it a little different because I've got positions already in on this. I may look to add this in on for another trade during the European session, but that's what it looks like right now. All right, so look at Aussie CAD, still trying to make a decision. It hasn't quite, and again, this is the 1 minute time frame, so it's a little choppy.
Yeah.
A little choppy right now. What are we expecting out later on? Let's see here. We're expecting out annual budget release at 10, and nothing out tomorrow.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, we have Governor Bailey. What happened to Carney? Is he done? Mark Carney is done for the Bank of England?
Yeah, he's done. He's taken a trip downside.
Back to Canada, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, he was he was Bank of Canada for a handful of years, and then switched over Bank of England and just got dealt an amazing hand with Brexit. Yep. The last 3 years.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
What a mess.
Take that, right?
Yeah. What a fun time that must have been for that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Governor Bailey. All right, new guy, a new sheriff in town.
Sure is. Hey, the market's really choppy. Listen here, I like this. I'll tell you why I like this so much. I like this so much because the fact that the markets are currently right now priced in the bad news. I believe that most of the news has been priced in, and this is just a market reaction. When you see the market go ahead and spike up, spike down like it has been doing now it means that the technicals are really going to start taking control of what the market does. And this is why I like it so much. It's because if I go ahead and take a look at the spike up here, especially in the Aussie CAD, I want to just take a look at the spike in the Aussie CAD here. How far was that spike up here?
Not a ton, maybe within 20 pips or so. Yeah, I've got about 30 pips, Gary.
The range, the low and high was 24 pips. That's not big at all. Let's take a look over here on. Let me take a look at the pound. Let's just show you the charts right here. Pound. Go to pound. Where is it? Pound Aussie.
Pound Aussie's starting to creep up, man. Let's go, baby.
It's starting to creep up. Good.
Yep. So from the low to high in the pound, obviously that had higher volatility. That is currently off the lows around 59 pips.
Ooh, yes.
Yep. So the spike down, but we didn't take out those previous lows around 88.70. Now we're looking to see if I updated this in Telegram for my trading room, but the 1 minute, 5 minute, I'm looking for confirmation to buy. So I might be actually getting filled on a trade here within the next maybe minute or two.
Yeah. Now the deal is on this. Is that if we do break above this, we're going to get a buy on the pound Aussie. And the problem here is the larger this range becomes from the low there, that's how the stop is. So we're looking at about 60 pip, maybe 70 pip stop as we stand right now. This is going to be a 70 pip stop. That's why I don't want it to be too far away. I don't want it to escape too far away because it's going to minimize our entry points getting in, and it's going to allow the market to trade, but we have to chase after 3 times. Well, that's my target, 3 times that value. So whatever the stop is, if the stop 70, that means I've got to go for 210 pips for the day. Now, granted, this trading range on this particular pair right here can give us 240 pips. In fact, the daily trading range on this is 193. So with fundamentals added into that, we could get that 210 pips for the day with ease. So as long as we don't get in on a trade, the initial trade, with a 80-90 pip stop, I don't want to do that. I'll probably go ahead and take my profit and just trade the ribbons on its own, if that's the case, so I can get in tighter stops. But I like it. I like it so far. Let's take a look at the 1 hour and take a look at the 1 hour right here. See what type of price action we have on the 1 hour. Look at the 1 hour. Just a little spike here. We do have a target for the week up here at 91.50. So 91.50 is definitely a level of resistance. And it is a little range bound this week too. It hasn't really been doing anything much. But we caught it down here at the bottom right here. We definitely caught a little bit at the bottom right here. Oh, by the way, there is a one hour divergence here too. Check that out there too. I like to see divergence when it moves into an oversold or overbought condition. In this case, it never really did that, so it's not a very strong divergence. But it is setting up for a setup right there. Let's take a look and see. So the last hour. What is our gauge telling us right here? Pound weakness, still considering pound weak is the last hour. New Zealand has got a little bit stronger. And we're seeing a little bit of weakness out in Aussie. So that definitely, it's not a big Aussie weakness. We're getting a little bit of weakness in Aussie. There we go. Now we're starting to get a little spike. Check it out. Check out spiking up a little bit. So it's trying to push weakness here. Yeah. Hey, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and I don't think I've got any trades in yet. No, not yet. So while we're waiting, let's go take a look again at the New Zealand crosses. And possibly even, Chris, if you want to check out some of the pound crosses, I'm going to check out some of the New Zealand crosses. And let's see if we can pick up additional trades that we could possibly go ahead and start exploring in the European session. Get ready to go ahead and trade that during the European session.
Sounds good.
Let's take a look right here. I'm going to switch over to pound New Zealand dollar right here. And let's take those major crosses so we can get a little bit more of a larger daily trading range. Let's see here. Pound New Zealand dollar daily looks like it's coming to resistance. Looks like we're stalled around about there. So I don't see divergence yet on pound New Zealand dollar. So I'm going to stand aside on pound New Zealand dollar until I get some confirmation resistance is holding. So I won't trade the pound New Zealand dollar. Let's go to New Zealand CAD. And I am going to go to the daily trading range to see what we're looking at. 81 pips. Don't like that. Let's go to the next one. Swiss. This is Swiss JPY. Actually, you know what? Be honest with you. Even though, Chris, the daily trading range is tight on the New Zealand CAD, it just means that if we do pick up a good trade on that, the stops are going to be tighter, targets are going to be a lot quicker to get to. So I'm not too concerned about having a tight daily trading range. I do like the New Zealand CAD bullish, but not now. I'm seeing US oil still not breaking through $26 a barrel. It's holding at that level.
Right.
Did you notice that the US oil is actually finding resistance at a previous low? Did you check that?
Let me take a look at that right now.
I'm going to flip the chart open. I'm going to show you here.
It's been about 3 or 4 days of indecision here. Going back to the 6th of May, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6 candles there, all inside that level. So once we made the return from zero at negative 30 cents from these May contracts, we just been hanging out with an indecision around $25. So let me look at that. Like you said, a previous low.
Yeah. Look at the
weekly, that previous weekly low in January 16th. Right
yep,
there.
2016. Yeah. If I go to the weekly here, check out this big wedge that we're in here, this falling wedge, and we got it. We hit wave. You normally have 5 waves within a wedge, and then it breaks out. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, and then 5th one was down here. Popped a little lower, and it had to, and then it started to climb back up again. But this is the low here on that 3rd wave move right here, and that you're right, 2016 low right there. and it's struggling to break through there. But if we break through that, we should be able to get to that $42 breakout that we got early in, I believe it was March, right? The breakout that we had over that weekend. We should be able to get there and close that gap up again. Yeah.
Agree, and I think that's gonna be the lift needed for the CAD. I mean, technically, I'm like personally, I'm still long CAD Swiss. We've got some great levels above that I'm looking for as far as efficiency goes, and CAD Swiss is one of them that I'm willing to hang on a little bit longer. So yeah, I think oil needs to give us that nudge, and even I mean, I'm not asking for it to get to 40, but if we get to 35, that's where the gap started, right? Like once we actually gapped lower, we opened at 35. It's like that at least makes price test the gap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's take a look over here. Let me see here. Let's go to another pair that's traded against US oil. And I looked at the New Zealand CAD, but let me pull up. Let's see here. New Zealand, let's go. I'm not a fan of US dollar CAD, but let me just go to US dollar CAD right here. Daily range. Let's go to 4 hour. Let's see if there's anything happening on the 4 hour. Oh, we just tied up sideways this whole month. Last month and this month is sideways. Let's see if we can get some short-term opportunities. Nope, I'm not seeing it. I do see a 3-drive pattern though. Looks like it could be. No, maybe not, because it's not quite the 127 there. Let's take a look at another US pair right here. Hey, Jamie says here CAD Swiss. Let's check out. I know you mentioned CAD Swiss, so let's take a look at CAD Swiss here. And yes, CAD Swiss right here. And CAD Swiss, take a look at CAD Swiss here. CAD Swiss has given us, let me clean up the chart a little bit here. There was the turning point right here, but do we see anything happening right now? No. No. Yeah. What is your position on CAD Swiss? Are you...
We first, so what I saw initially was a head and shoulders that was bullish, and that was coming off the lows at roughly 6,600. So, you know, we've had kind of an extended right shoulder. It started to get really messy and sloppy around the neckline. I'm starting to think that head and shoulders may not be as valid as I want it to be. However, you know, like I said, I mean, I have a really great like weekly pocket. I have daily pockets. I'm looking at 7,100 to 7,140. So I'm willing to hang on to it. If it comes back down and tries to test previous lows, okay, you know, let's see what happens at 66, 6,600 again. But again, I'm just, you know, it's kind of like one of those position trades where I'm willing to just trade it small, give it some time, and let it work itself out. And I also think one thing that we haven't seen in a long time is any Swiss franc weakness. There's been no separator right now in the Swiss franc at all. It's been pretty much in lockstep with the euro. The Euro Swiss, I know we talked about this, you know, a couple weeks ago. Euro Swiss, I think, looks great to the upside. We just need a catalyst. We need something to drive it and give it a separator. I think once the Euro Swiss separates and the euro gets stronger and the Swiss gets weaker, I think the Swiss basket moves and that CAD Swiss makes its profit.
Right. Now you're looking for a rally on Canadian Swiss?
I mean, I've been long since like 67 and 6,600, and I'm just looking to try to push this up into 7,000 again. We had highs at 70.31. I believe at the end of April before it just took like a 2-day, it just tanked for like 2 days at the end of April for that end of month profit taking. But I mean, I'm still looking to take it up into 71. So I'm currently long on CAD Swiss.
Yeah, you look, if it breaks through this level right here, I got that level at 69.75. We can break through that level there. Yep. Then I guess we're off to the races all the way up, 75 and change. So I definitely see the catalyst here in regards to resistance would be a break above 69.75. If we can get a break above that, I think we and give or take a few. It doesn't have to be exactly 69.75, but if we can break above that, then there's a lot of room to the upside that's not going to stop this pair from running. So we got about 500 pips to the upside right here.
Love it.
On the daily. So, and it is tied up in this consolidation, and there's a lot of reason why we should be seeing a rally up here. We got support over here. We've got price moving back inside this channel to the top side. So there's consolidation here. There's a lot of reason why we can see price going back up to this level. And I'm almost certain that you've got pockets set up right here on that big breakdown here as well.
Yep.
Looking to be filled too.
Yep.
just above that range.
Yeah, that daily and weekly look, and so I mean on pockets I'm pretty conservative, you know, larger time frames, but I like the wide open pocket around 7,100. So I mean I'll build it. I'll build small positions and trade double bottoms and equal lows and just end up making a much profit once it hits it.
Right. So let me take a look at the short-term trend line. Short-term trend line. Oops, it goes a little bit through there. So let me see here. Short-term trend line, this could be just an interruption to the trend eventually if it breaks above that. But right now, we do have an unhit target up here at the top at 72.64. So that is a monthly target that has not been hit. A missed target right here. And that lines up with the top of the channel too as price moves back up again. So let's take a look here. I'd be interested in buying on this once I can get, well, I think with a low of 68.75 taken out, if we can take out that low, let me go ahead and mark that off. I would be a buyer on with the divergence. So I would go ahead and with these convergence. So I'd say that a buyer below, and then I'd go ahead and say if we have convergence in place, or let's say convergence confirmed. Right there. So it would help if I go ahead and check these two right here. All right, cool. So this is what I'll be looking for right there. So as price takes out that low, and then we see the oscillator continue to push momentum up, then I would certainly be a buyer looking for somebody to go long on this one right here. So yeah, I agree. The long-term outlook should absolutely be bullish on this.
Yep.
Let's go take let's just take a quick look and see if we got it caught up in any trades yet. All right, we're in. We're in actually on both Aussie CAD and on Aussie on Pound Aussie. So Aussie CAD we are short, and Pound CAD, Pound Aussie we are currently long. Both of them are just break even right now. We haven't got any big positions in at the moment right now. Let me take a look at the other account. I should see one of my positions. Yep. There it is. Aussie CAD is filled at the moment right now, and I'm currently selling on Aussie. So we'll see how this plays out over the European session. I'm just glad it didn't place a huge stop, all right, because that's the one thing that I was concerned about, that we would be getting in with a huge stop. So it looks like we may have our stop all the way up here, and that should be at around about 91. Let's see, stop loss is at 91, yep, 91, perfect, 91.09, is that it? Yep, 91.09. So we've got a stop loss there at 91.09. That's about a 40 pip stop, which I'm glad about. That's on this account. Let's take a look at the other account. The other account, stop loss, let's see here. Let's go to here. I need to go to the 1 minute. There we go. I can see that better. There it is there. I'm going to be looking at a stop very similar. And I can go ahead and confirm that with my journal here. Let's see here. Stop loss. Load. Hasn't confirmed it yet. It looks like it's need to update. May update in the next couple of minutes. All right, so I've got that in place. So that's in. So I'm good to go. I'm short on Aussie CAD, and I'm long currently on Pound Aussie. Both of those positions.
Yeah, those are working out great.
I think we're gonna. I think it's safe to say that we can hold on to those trades, Chris, for through the European session. I think the momentum should take us through that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we looked at the way the market's set up, technically we are good for a rally, right? I mean, technically we should be seeing the market continue its upside move.
Yeah,
I'm talking about specifically Pound Aussie.
Gary, this is an interesting fact. I looked at my trading record from last year. I looked at my entire account statement, and my highest orders, I had 127 trades last year on the Aussie CAD. Next to that, you know, my favorite is the Aussie New Zealand. I only had 72 trades on the Aussie New Zealand last year. So AUDCAD is one of my favorites. I think it's a great trade. I love that currency pair.
Well, I like it too. I like it too. In fact, that's probably one of my better pairs last year as well. Would be the Aussie CAD. It paid out quite a bit last year for me too. I focus on all 28 currency pairs. I don't really zone in on any particular currency pair, but I have started scaling down on how many pairs I'm actually going to be in at the same time. One of the strategies I used to trade was called, well, still do on certain trading accounts, is target trading. I still trade that, but because of the market conditions that we're currently in right now, I think it's good to be more detailed on what you're looking for, find it, and then trade it. And it doesn't have to be on 5, 10 different currency pairs at the same time. Be a little more a master of one or two, and then use a little higher risk, but you're looking for higher probability setups. And that's what we've been doing. And we've been picking up anything between 2 to 5% a week by just focusing in on that, instead of spreading your risk across the 28 currency pairs, but then getting so little, coming in every time, building up the account slowly, but then holding your positions over a longer period of time, and get caught up with all these news events and news flash crashes and interest rate charges that the brokers are charging. It just adds up, and it just gets so frustrating, These type of trades that we looked at right now, just in and out for the intraday moves, seems a lot more acceptable for these market conditions that we're in right now.
Yeah. It's funny how different this event is, tonight compared to last night. New Zealand, and again, I mean, the statement was there. I mean, I'm not sure if you read the statement or listened to the press conference, saw the end result, but Orr was talking about the not likelihood, but the potential of, if needed, being more accommodative. Plus, they increased their QE, so New Zealand's been more accommodative. What's crazy to me is, I know a handful of Kiwis that I've talked to over the years that have always been interested in moving money around because they've had a good yield. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, 2013 and 14, when the New Zealand dollar was like 3.5%, 4%, and now it's at 0.25. Think about like holding your funds in a bank. I mean, a bank right now offers what, 0.1%, 0.2% APR in the U.S. Yeah. I mean, imagine, great. Like, I would love to have a New Zealand dollar bank account making 4% a year, 5% a year. Now they're right pretty much on par with everybody else. It's like scratching and get 1% and not even staying ahead of inflation. So
exactly,
it's crazy. It's a crazy what we've seen over the last decade. Just monetary policy is a dominant force in the market, and it does these wild things to currencies and countries.
Sure, no, it absolutely does, man. Hey, did you pick up any other currency pairs that you see on the Aussies that look interesting to trade?
My Aussie CAD, I'm short, and I'm holding from 91. That's up for 33 pips right now. My pound Aussie did get picked up on a trade. Let me take a look. My 5 minute is filled. My 1 minute is not. So I took it on two trades, two small accounts. I want to see which one's going to get filled. I updated that to see, it's trader preference. So I'm currently long on the 5 minute, and my 1 minute actually the 1 minute just needs to have a pullback on Right Trader Max. But 5 minutes active and in and confirmed. So the 1 minute just needs to bounce off those ribbons. And like I said, I mean, I'll take that trade. Asia session, there's nothing that really got away from us tonight. The Aussie pretty much came out with a little volatility here and there, but I think it's going the direction we anticipated in the higher time frames. So I wouldn't be surprised, based on what you showed with that divergence, Gary, that the pound Aussie finds a way to creep higher. And one thing going into the London session, it looks like we're going to get some risk-off flavor in the markets. Finally today, the yen started to turn, the dollar started to turn, the Swiss started to turn. We're starting to see some of that risk-off flow. Yen's had a pretty solid day. Like I said, I closed Aussie yen for 100 pips. Pound yen's back below 132. Euro yen's back down to 116. Dollar yen struggling at 1. It's like we're getting the same bull crap that we saw last Friday on yen pairs, where they all confirmed they were all bearish. But yet Friday to Monday, it's like, no, the Japanese yen's going to do some stupid stuff, and now it's right back where it started. So, hate that yen, but it's doing what we want it to do. So that's why I'm still short. My robots are picking up some sell trades, and I'm looking at some trading.
Are you in on any Aussie New Zealand dollar trade?
I am not.
Listen here. Check this out. Check this out right here. Aussie New Zealand dollar right here. look at the, we're getting good divergence here.
Yeah.
All right, moving down. We've got price moving higher right here.
Yeah.
So this is looking at.
I want it to go down, Gary. I mean, I want it to go down to 105. I want it to go down to 104. I would love. I want to sell it. Like, truthfully, I want to sell it. I love this currency pair, but I'm still looking at the weekly chart. I'm still looking at the monthly chart. I've got to be a buyer. I'm going to buy it at 105, buy it at 104, I mean, I want to be long to 112, 113, 114. I really believe that we can get there after 5 years of ranging. I think from this jump off of parity 1.00 in March, I've got to believe that in the next 3, 6, 9 months we're going to be at 114, or we're going to find it.
Yeah. But
so I'm a buyer, man. I want to buy at better levels. That's all.
Okay. So you're going to be waiting for the dips to rather buy in than trying to sell it off and take that risk.
Correct. Yep.
Because you're so strong on the bullish side, you don't want to take the risk to the downside and risk the opportunity to the upside because you'd be caught up in those sells.
Right.
And I get that. But I say don't get married to a trade and just sell it off, make money on the downside. If it doesn't work out, get out, take your loss, but at least you take an opportunity to be able to make the profits to the downside. But listen here, everyone trades differently. Everyone has their own risk tolerance of what they want to do. I'm going to look at this right here. So right now, I'm seeing this as a short-term rally, all right? But eventually, if I start seeing indecision here, maybe a U-turn right here, I'm absolutely going to go ahead and start putting some trades in here because I believe that we could trade it all the way down to. Now, listen here. This may not seem. Don't laugh at me. All right. Don't laugh at me. This may not seem like a big trade, right? Because you're looking at this, you go, man, if this trade can drop, we can make 280 pips. You think, hold on a second, I can go ahead and make that on a pound in one day, and I got to sit in the Aussie New Zealand dollar for a week just to creep up to 200 pips. The deal is this: if you can get in on these smaller trading ranges, it means that your stops are going to be tighter, which means you can get your profit targets a lot quicker. The larger trading ranges, if you get in on those big, large trading ranges, your stops are going to be wider. It's going to take longer to get to the targets. So don't, everything's relative to the currency pair and the daily trading range that we trade in, right? And of course the time frame that it moves to those levels. But if I do see, in fact, if I look at the weekly, let me go ahead and pop the weekly open right here. And if I see the weekly, and let me show you what I'm looking at right here. If I see the weekly close below this downward trend line, and I'm actually cheating the system a little bit right here because I should be connecting that high and that high there. There it is there. That's better. All right. It took me about 4 years of art class to get that right. So here we go. There we go. All right. So that's the trend line right there. If I look at this weekly right here, and if this weekly closes out below this trend line right here, man, I am going to absolutely go down to a lower time frame and look for that diversion. If it means I have to go to the 1 hour time frame first and see if I can find something here to trade. That looks horrible. I mean, no one wants to trade this right now. But I mean, if I can find something that's tradable right here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take on that because I know my stops are going to be tight. And so, although the market may, and look at this as well, by the way. Let me clear up the chart so you can see a little bit better what's going on here. Look at this monthly target down here at 1.0521. So we've got a target down here, and if you know this currency pair, it hits its targets because
absolutely it does.
It's a very, very popular currency pair when it comes to target trading. And so if we've got a target down here, all right, now we're going to just find a reason to be able to trade towards that target. And I believe, let me see here. Let me take a look at the 4-hour RSI. We're not in an overbought condition yet on the 4-hour yet, so we're not there yet.
Not yet.
We've got a bit of room to the upside still. So it may not be the perfect timing now to get in, but it certainly is something I'm going to keep my eye open on. Right there. So that's going to be something that I'm going to definitely want to go ahead and check out if it happens. But keep your eye on that, Chris. I know you love the Aussie New Zealand dollar, man.
Yeah, man. That's my jam.
I know it is. Okay, what other currency pairs for us to go ahead and check out before we close off this evening?
Let's see here. So I mean, the Aussie pair is going to carry us in. I mean, AUDCAD looks great. Let me see where Aussie yen is at. I've got some traders that might still be holding that at 70. That's pushing a little bit lower now, so that would be up around 130 pips and running. I'm looking at levels around 67.50 on that Aussie yen just to trade the range. So Aussie yen's a trade that looks pretty solid. With this news tonight, Aussie yen should continue to go lower. I know Tyson, had talked about Aussie dollar. Euro Aussie, actually, so what did we do today in my room? We took Euro New Zealand long and we took Pound Swiss short. So those are some trades that I'm interested. I'll be tracking through tomorrow. I'm currently long in the near term on, I just used 15-minute charts on the Euro New Zealand. I'm just buying it. I mean, we bought the dip around like 89 or 1.8019 today. We're up around 80 pips, 70, 80 pips right now.
Nice.
That's not too shabby. Yeah, and then Pound
Not
Swiss,
at
same
all.
thing. Yeah, so we shorted Pound Swiss, and we had a nice little run on that one. So, yeah, we've got some good trades running, and that's what's going to keep me busy through tomorrow.
I'm taking a look at the Euro New Zealand dollar right here.
Yep.
And we're tested this downward trend line right here, just about there. I haven't got it quite adjusted correctly, but there it is there. We did trade now behind it. We said we were going to sell resistance. In my trading room, we're actually looking to sell it if it closes out. Now we're looking at the 1 hour. So we said that, hey, we're going to start looking to sell it. If it trades above that, we'll go ahead and look to trade that. But it's gone ahead and traded right here in today. It's traded up here, and we said if it comes back down again, we'll sell it. But that means that then the daily has to hold at that resistance. And it's not. We actually breaking through. So if this candle right here, this daily candle closes out above this trend line, then we're going to switch it over in my trading room tomorrow. I'm going to check to the guys tomorrow, and we're going to actually go ahead and start trading it back up to 185.20, and even possibly all the way up to 9200 as we retest the top side of the channel line right here. We did get the divergence that we're looking for. We picked up actually the buys up here at the bottom. So we actually traded this divergence right here. We traded it going long towards this trend line. Then at this trend line, we said, all right, let's capture. Let's wait and see what happens here. But we're looking to sell at the resistance. But now that's breaking through. We're definitely going to reverse that position. We're not in a position because the market never confirmed the 1 hour bearish. So we're not in that position. But we definitely will be looking to start looking for buys on this tomorrow if this continues and stays bullish. So I'm with you all the way. You guys did great getting in on that. If I look at the wave structure on the 1 hour right here, just to see where the opportunity might be for those that have missed out on the entry point, then this would be my wave 1. This will be wave 2. So I'm expecting Euro New Zealand dollar to actually dip before it gets to 81.64. I'll be looking for it to dip down here, maybe retest my my ribbons. Probably the red ribbon, buy in on the red ribbon for another rally to 81.64. So I like that, and I can see the 1 hour. I can see the 1 hour also showing a nice little channel up here, and that should give me my fifth wave going up there at the top. So we should see a dip first before the rally, and looks like we could get maybe a deeper dip than I expected. Actually, no, it looks like it may just go and take out this low right here. So that's about all we're going to get there. So the dip will be very shallow. Looking at a dip to about maybe 130, 140 pips. Yep, but about 140 pip dip, and then the rally is going to be about 230 to the upside. So you said you're about 80 pips up in the trade already?
Yep, looks like we're around 60, about 63 pips right now.
Did you get in based on the right trade and backs entries?
Yep, 15-minute chart. Already had the buy zone. We had a pullback. It turned red, turned blue. So we had that nice transition of color, and just want to get in. It was a good trade actually during the session today.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, there it is there. All right, cool. So I see that Denise, and by the way, that is a nickname I've given her. Denise says, Gary, divergence is on the Euro New Zealand dollar. Yes, there was. Yes, there was. As I pointed out on the 4 hour time frame, we did have a good solid level of divergence. So yes, there it is there. Is it the daily? Actually, it's on the daily, not the 4 hours. So my bad. Daily right here. So there was divergence, and yes, we could see this rally back up again. Now, I did say, Chris, I'll be honest with you, all cards on the table. I did say to the guys yesterday that, I just don't know if this weakness out in New Zealand is going to continue to hold as strong as what it is right now. Just because I looked at a lot of the technical moves indicate that we should be expecting a recovery in New Zealand. So stronger New Zealand. Although the data reported differently yesterday and the market reacted a little bit differently yesterday, that's not what I was seeing actually on the technicals. Technicals said that we should be seeing a stronger move in New Zealand. So I'm a little reluctant to want to jump in on the New Zealand crosses until I see a clean, confirmed breakout. And so like I'm seeing right now, and this is not the perfect trend line. If I actually go ahead and take this trend line and connect the bottoms here and get really technical on everyone, which is something I normally do, I'm going to do this. If I go ahead and grab this right here and I connect the bottoms down here from that low to that low there, and then I go ahead and take this and I just do a power line on that and I bring it up here, I'm actually at resistance there. So this is it right here. So connecting this low and that low right there makes me believe that this is the resistance right here. So until I see a really clean break from that, I'm a little bit still skeptical, because if I go ahead and compress the charts, I'm looking for price still to come down to the bottom of the channel right here, because we did almost test the top of the channel. So I'm looking for price to come back down. Now, I did also say that there's that possibility of, this little rally up and then a dip down south right here. This is where the big money's at. And so if the market does rally up and I get signals to sell up here at the top, and you guys can't see it because I'm not showing you. There it is. Now you can see the chart. So this is what I'm looking at over here. So I'm looking for the market to go down to this channel line right here. And I made that adjustment. As you can see here, I made this adjustment on the trend line. Let me zoom in. So I connected that low, and then it gave me the support here. But then I put a parallel line across there, and I connected that high with this current market price. So we haven't quite. That's why I'm a little, concerned about whether or not we're going to break through that. But if we do break through that, man, you're definitely going to chase off to 85.21. So you guys are definitely going to be in the money. But if I see anything here, I would want to go ahead and get the heck out of Dodge. Now, what's making me believe that you guys really caught this right is the fact that we've got this divergence here, and we've just crossed over the zero line right here, which means that the momentum's now starting to push in your favor. So if we see momentum and price moving in the same direction, it normally gives it that additional push. So we should be able to break through that. And so there's a very good chance, I would say there's 70% chance that I may start swinging to be a buyer in New Zealand, Euro New Zealand, by tomorrow. But I'm going to wait for that confirmation to see what happens.
Cool. I just sent an update while we're talking about this. I just moved my stop to +6 to not worry about it. And currently we're up 83 pips. So nice. I'll let it. I mean, look, I don't love putting it a break even, but the peace of mind of being up 6, and let's say if we can, get some love during this session and push it up another 30, 40, 50 pips, the Euro session starts, and maybe we're up 100 plus pips.
Absolutely.
Not going to complain about that,
No one will. No one will.
Yeah.
We certainly will not complain, Chris. All right. So we're up 8 pips on the one trade so far and 10 pips in the other trade. So it's a slow mover, and that's great. I love this, because the reason why I love this is because now we're going to come into the European session, and it's going to allow the market now to go above the ribbons and go below ribbons again to give us new entry points. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be able to pick up some multiple positions. I like the way price is moving now. Everything's moving just like we want to see it. Let's go ahead and recap on this. We've got 2 trades in Aussie, pound Aussie, and we're buying pound Aussie off this divergence level right here. We got indecision close out today, and we got a new candle open up. I'm looking for this big move to the upside right here, and that could take us all the way up here to 520 pip move. That's what I'm looking at on the pound Aussie. I'm excited about pound Aussie. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and continue to hold that position throughout the European session. Check it out tomorrow, and I may even continue into Friday morning. I may go ahead and take my profit off the table tomorrow, wait for any sort of correction, but then go ahead and start deploying again on Friday morning European session, so we can get that last bit of a run for the week. And I think this is going to be the money maker. I did trade. Look, full disclosure, right? I placed a few trades yesterday, and I took some losses. All right, I lost about 0.8% on all my trades that I placed yesterday on the pound CAD, and pound Aussie. But I'm confident that we're now got a very good support low that we've bought in at, and I believe that if this market can give us that 500 pips, we should be able to make that plus a lot more. So I'm excited about that. The other trade that we're in on is the pound Canadian. And the reason why I'm getting on the pound Canadian is not because of any sort of divergence, just to be clear on that. All right. If we take a look right here, if you look at this right here, you would think, Gary, why the heck are you buying in on this? Because there's no divergence. We're at the top of the range. You should be seeing pound CAD moving south. And that is true. But I'm buying on pound CAD just because of this indecision that we've had over here. We're right at the bottom. Price took out this. If I have to go ahead and take a look at this right here, I'm seeing, oh, wait a minute. I'm not on pound CAD. It's Aussie CAD. I was just looking at this. I'm like, why am I in this trade right now? There's no setup here. It's Aussie CAD. And nobody's telling me this. Come on, guys. Talk to me. All right. All right. So Aussie, if you go to Aussie CAD right here, this is the other one that we're in right here. And we're selling Aussie CAD because of the divergence right here. We've got beautiful divergence. In fact, if you take a look right here, we got highs up here that have confirmed right here that we have lower momentum, higher price. Definitely seen divergence here. We got a small bit of divergence up at the top here as well, and down here to confirm the tops. Price is testing a very strong resistance level from a previous support level of a range that we've tested to. And maybe, just maybe, this is not a long-term move. Maybe this is just short-term, but that's okay. There's enough profit to the downside. I've already gone ahead and said that price could target this level right here at about 86.83. If I get that, that's going to be a cool, what, 300-400 pips. And if I grab 200 out of that with a tight stop, that'll give me enough space to get my 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And that's all I'm looking for right here. Jamie says, plus there is a beautiful 8-hour bear pattern. All right, Jamie, True. Thank you for telling me. All right, good. So let's go to the 8-hour and show Jamie and everyone else that Jamie's called out the 8-hour pattern right here. There it is. Boom. All right, I'm going to drop the mic right now. We've got an alt shark pattern sitting up at the top right here. And that pattern's indicating that we're targeting this level right here at 87.15. So if anything, you can trade towards that target. That's 350 pips. All right, well, at least that profit taking to the target this month. We've got about 187. So there's plenty of money to the plenty of pips to the downside on this pair. And just like Jamie just mentioned right here, we definitely have a weekly, or at least a monthly target that is tradable. Plus, of course, we have 87.15, which is the actual patterns target as well to the downside. So you got to love that. A lot of confirmations. Hey, Chris, I really appreciate you coming in, man. Keeping me company here.
Hey, no worries. Hey, guess what? This is my 7th webinar today. Rock and roll.
Oh, snap. All right. Well, I'll say a few prayers for you today, because that's going to take a lot for you to recover after those sessions today. Great job on that, my friend. And by the way, traders, listen here. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please go ahead and do so. Subscribe to the channel. I'm definitely going to bring in some more guests as we move through the different months. Chris is definitely one of my favorite guests to bring onto the YouTube channel, because we have a lot of things in common, especially the way we look at the markets. And it is important to chat and have discussions around market setups with other traders that are professional traders, trade real money, and get involved in the market on a day-to-day basis. Chris and I are both very, very, very excited about Right Trader Max. If you haven't heard about it, make sure that you go ahead and check out my description. We have got some details in there. But I also want to make sure that you guys realize that there's great trading systems, right? But you have to understand that the systems that you're using in trading have to make sense, right? And the reason why we love Right Trader so much, because it makes sense based on the logic inside the system, why we want to go, why we want to trust it, just like I'm going to do. I'm just going to let that system ride through the European session. I'm going to go to bed, relax, enjoy the evening, wake up tomorrow morning, and the system has managed the positions for me and did exactly what I would do if I was manually trading. So you have to have a common ground, and you have to have something that makes sense to you as a trader. Getting automated systems is great, but it defeats the object if there isn't an agenda why you're using that system. You have to have an agenda, right? It has to have a purpose of what it's doing. And so this is why we like Right Trader Max so much. And hey, traders, we'll see how this plays out. I have also put a link in my, and this will be the last week, I have put a link in the description to my trading room. So if you want to get involved in my trading room, check it out. I've got the last day tomorrow. Both Chris and I, we run trading rooms. Chris' trading room is called Flex Trading Room. Mine is called Hybrid Trading Room. And the link below will get you into my trading room just tomorrow. But if you want tomorrow, I can give you details of how to be able to get into Chris and my trading rooms. Please make sure you guys check it out. Check out the links. And do me a favor. Go ahead and hit a like right now. Smash the like button right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And once again, I want to thank you guys for coming in and joining us here in this trading session. Chris, once again, thank you for coming. Appreciate you, my friend.
My pleasure, Gary.
And
Thanks, man.
hopefully you're practicing, so next time when you come down here to Florida, I won't embarrass you too much.
I'll be ready for it, dude. Don't worry.
All right, guys. With that being said, this is Chris and I saying we'll see you next time, and we'll see you in the trading rooms. This is the FX Big Dog signing off.
See you, traders.